Police say 24-year-old Dawn Young supplied the guns used to ambush 4 firefighters on Christmas Eve. She bought the guns for her neighbor, William Spangler, back in 2010.
Live at 6, Eyewitness News reporter Walt Hunter is in Plymouth Township, Montgomery County, with the details.
Well, Chris, Officer Brad Fox's car remains draped in black. However, his handcuffs were very much in use today on the wrists of suspect Mike Henry, who's accused of selling the gun that was used to kill the officer to his killer.
At 6, he bought the gun that was used to shoot 2 Milwaukee police officers.
Prosecutors say Collins went to Badger Gun in West Milwaukee and bought a pistol. Then, for a $40 profit, prosecutors say he gave it to Julius Burton, the man accused of shooting police officers Graham Kunish and Brian Norberg near 2nd and Walker.
This issue is extremely personal for me. A year and a half ago, I lost my nephew, Christopher Cummings, to a senseless act of gun violence.
Look, we need to change the culture in America that says it's really no big deal to buy a gun for someone else. That's not a proper culture for our country. And as a lifetime member of the NRA, as a firearm owner, and as a father, and really as a grandfather, I've got a problem with people who break the law using firearms because it inevitably puts pressure on my rights.
One of the things that I'm concerned about, a lot of times when we have disagreements, we concentrate on the disagreement, but we don't concentrate on the agreement.
Right.
And then we end up doing nothing, absolutely nothing.
Exactly.
The Mexico tragedy continues. Over the past 5 years, nearly 60,000 people have died in the drug war.
And the U.S. has played a big part in it. An obscenely lucrative multi-billion-dollar arms trafficking business is alive and well.
These powerful weapons are being bought in the United States and end up in the hands of ruthless drug lords.
Around 70% of all firearms seized in Mexico and submitted for tracing come from the United States. Most gun sellers don't care. The more they sell, the more they profit. These are the facts.
How can this be happening?
Mr. X is looking to make a quick and dirty buck, not caring how he does it or for what purpose.
He just wants cash.
Mr. X knows that there are several gun dealers in U.S. border towns.
He knows that he can pass a background check and get 10 or 20 guns in one transaction.
Mr. X goes into the dealer and comes out heavily loaded, armed to the teeth as if going to war.
These are not hunting guns. These are AK-47s, AR-15s, and other military-style weapons, many made in Eastern Europe.
At the parking lot, Mr. X sells the gun to Mr. Y.
Easy, quick transaction.
Mr. X comes back often. Weekly, monthly.
His business booms, Mr. Y's business booms, and the drug business booms. How do they get away with it?
Arms traffickers know that in the U.S., there are lax gun control laws on the books. Minimal enforcement. There are more than 8,000 federally licensed firearms dealers in Texas,
New Mexico, Arizona, and California. A multi-billion-dollar industry that lines the pockets of gun makers, gun importers, gun sellers, and drug cartels, and that has ended with an ongoing crisis and tragedy.
At every turn, there's a buck made. At every corner, there's a profit.
For example, U.S. gun manufacturer DPMS makes an average of 74,000 AR-type rifles a year.
Then sells them legally for $889 each.
That's about $65 million in sales for DPMS.
That's a lot of money. And we're just talking about one company and one type of gun.
This must stop today, and there is a way to stop it.
President Obama has the authority to 1.
Enforce the existing ban on the importation of military-style assault weapons.
2. Require gun dealers to report massive purchases of military-style weapons.
3. Tighten enforcement along the border, where the bulk of weapons are smuggled into Mexico.
It's now up to you to tell President Obama he must act. Our petition demands action.